Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're all doing well. I definitely am. It's an amazing day here in Australia, and I've been on a bushwalk, so that always puts me in a good mood. Anyway, today I thought I might make a video on police encounters or police issues because I keep getting questions about whether I've had any issues with the police and what I've done and things like that. And to be honest with you, so far I've had no encounters with the police whatsoever. I had a near encounter the other night, which I'll tell you about in a sec. But yeah, I haven't actually had any problems with the police at all. And my main kind of view on this, like I put it down to presence. And when I say that, I mean like your presence in whatever location you're staying in. So I try and maintain as minimal a presence as possible wherever I'm staying, which means people basically don't even really know I'm there most of the time. And that's part of my strategy in stealth camping, is just to almost be unseen, and then that way you don't have any problems in the first place. So when I pull up somewhere, the most you'd see of me would be me getting out of the driver's side door and walking around to the side, and then I close the door and I'm gone. And you know, I try and keep noise down to a minimum. And once I'm in the vehicle, straight away I put up the window panels and the curtain on the front, and I lock the doors, and I'm in there, and that's it. If I have to get out, I always turn all the lights off first and open the door quietly, and you know, just scope it out before I go jumping out. So yeah, I maintain a real minimal presence, and I think that's why I haven't had any encounters yet, because if they don't know you're there, then they're not going to have a problem with you. So basically, if you keep your presence down to a minimum, and you don't bug anyone, and you respect everyone else and everyone in the area that you're staying, you shouldn't really have any problems in the first place. Now, like I said, I did have that one near miss the other night. It was kind of funny actually, because it was right after I was talking to someone on YouTube. I was answering a comment about police encounters, and they asked me if I'd had any, and I said no, I've never had a problem with the police. And a few minutes later I hear this car pull up. I was just sitting in the back watching a movie, and you know, I wasn't making a lot of noise, but I had the laptop playing the movie, and I just heard this vehicle pull up, and you hear the drone of the muffler as it's coming past. And you can tell when a car slows down or stops nearby, because I could hear the sound coming around the side, and then it so stopped behind me. And as soon as I heard that, I switched the lights off and paused the movie, and I just moved one of the panels aside a little bit, just so that I could see out but they couldn't see in. And it was a police car. They pulled up behind me, and they stopped very briefly behind the van. My guess is they were just scoping it out. They were curious as to why I was there, and they might have been checking my number plate. But the only reason that I believe that happened was because of where I was at what time. And it was a shopping centre car park, but the problem was when I initially parked there, the shops were still open, and there was lots of cars and lots of people and things like that, so you just blend in like any other vehicle. But because I wasn't planning on staying there the night, I was just watching this movie. I actually rented it from a little, you know, one of those little vending machines that you can rent movies from. I rented it at that shopping centre, so the plan was to watch it and then return it before I left. Yeah, and that's the only reason why, because as soon as you're the only vehicle in the car park, your presence all of a sudden becomes known. You go from being one in 1,000 to the only one there, and then you get attention drawn on yourself. And I think that's just why the police were looking. They were just curious why there was one vehicle left in the whole car park, and there is actually a police station attached to that shopping centre, so they would be going through there anyway. And I think they probably checked my number plate or something and saw I wasn't a criminal and didn't have a history of any kind of crime or anything like that, and they would have just moved on. But it did get me thinking, what would I have done if they did knock on my window? You know, if they did decide to take it further and came and checked out the van. And I thought, in that case, it wasn't obvious that I was in there. They were just curious. I wasn't making a lot of noise. There wasn't any light coming out of the vehicle. No cooking smells, nothing like that. So I wouldn't have answered. I just would have been really quiet and just waited for them to go away. Because, I mean, legally they can't break into your vehicle to see if you're in there. And I don't think they care that much to start with. And if they haven't seen you, and your windows are blacked out and all that sort of stuff, then they've got no proof anyway. They're just going to knock out of curiosity. They might say, we know you're in there, or something like that, and you just don't answer, and eventually they'll leave. So that's what I do. If it's not obvious that you're in there to start with, and you think that they're just doing it out of curiosity, just don't answer and wait till they go away. And then I'd move on. You know, even if they do go away, I would still move on, just because obviously they're knocking for a reason. They're curious for a reason. It's probably because you're not being very stealthy where you are, and yeah, I don't think that's a good place to stay if that's the case. So just move on. Then I was thinking, what would I do if it was obvious that I was in there? You know, if I was cooking, for example. That's the only time when people would know that I'm in my van, is when I'm cooking, because I have to have the exhaust vent on, pulling out the cooking fumes and all the carbon monoxide from the gas cooker and stuff. And I'll also make a bit of noise when you know, messing around with pots and pans and stuff. So that's the only time when it's really obvious. And I thought, you know, if I was doing something like that and I got a knock on the door or on the window, what would I do? I'd probably just answer and just be polite and see what they had to say. Most of the time, if you're nice to police, they're nice back. Well, in my experience anyway. Everyone's experience is different, but yeah, I would just be nice. I'd be polite and I'd see what they had to say. And if they took it further and accused me of living in my vehicle or something like that, and then I'd just say, no, I'm just traveling, or I've just pulled over for a break. I'm just having something to eat, and then I'm going to move on after this. And see what they say about that. You know, I mean, most of the time, I can't imagine that it's going to be taken any further unless you're causing a nuisance in the neighborhood, or if you've been, you know, in a particular spot squatting for a month or something like that, you know, and you've bothered the neighbors or the locals. But I move around anyway, so I don't think anyone gets used to me. Yeah, I think people worry too much. You know, I think people spend too much time thinking about what's going to go wrong, instead of just going out there and living their life. You know, instead of, if you want to try the van life, instead of just trying it, people sit there and think of a million reasons why they shouldn't, or, you know, the worst case scenario, or what if this happens, what if that happens. Yeah, sure, what if it happens? I mean, it's possible, but what if it doesn't happen? There's more chance of it not happening than it actually happening. And you just limit your experience in life. You know, if you spend time sitting there and worrying about all these things that may eventuate into problems, then you're not going to experience anything. You're just going to stay inside and watch Netflix or something. You know, I mean, that's, some people like that, but that's boring to me. You know, I want to get out there and live my life a bit more. There's a bee in here. Yeah, so don't worry about it. Just try it. You know, just do it. Just jump into things and worry about consequences later on. I mean, to an extent. But yeah, hopefully that answers everyone's questions on that. If I do have any encounters, I'll be sure to make a video and post it to let you guys know. You know, if I have an actual police encounter or anything like that, you guys will be the first to know. But until then, take it easy, and I'll see you guys soon. Hey guys, I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And if you want any questions answered, just leave a comment and I'll see what I can do. Bye.